the son of a dream looking to realize his destiny in WWE.
Multiple tag team and intercontinental championship reigns during his first run here in WWE.
But now that the prodigal son has returned, Cody Rhodes has reached main event status.
Konnichiwa, minasan. I'm Great Joker, Unite Empire. 今日は試合があった。そして彼がエンパイアの応援してくれるってよ。みんな、ブロッキンテーブルポッドキャストよろしく。
Yeah, hear the battle cry under the devil's sky. The one-winged angel screams. It fuels my hopes and dreams. The best
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. I'm your host, Jeffrey Vegas. Here alone tonight. King Rome is very busy in the IRL work world. He unfortunately is not joining us here tonight, but thank you guys all in chat for joining us here on what to me is an absolutely monumental day for the podcast, which is a reason I really do wish Rome was here. We were approved for the YouTube partner program, so we are now officially legit, I guess you would say, on YouTube. If you look down on the bottom right, you can now do super chats and the cool stickers and those type of things. So thank you guys very much for all of the views that you guys have put in, the hours that you've watched. Everybody, thank you for the subscribes and the likes. Thank you guys so much for helping us finally get here. Coach Nick, we got Coach Nick in the chat. We got the Day Trading Doge. We got Michael Duke and the Coog. Thank you guys all very much. Welcome, everybody. We're here for episode number 161 of the Broken Tables podcast for our AEW Dynamite review. And you know what? I thought this was a decent episode of Dynamite. It wasn't by any means one of their greatest episodes ever. To be honest, I don't know if they had announced this main event ahead of time. Maybe somebody in chat can check this for me. But the main event felt like... Oh, geez, here we go. The main event felt like we had something else in mind, and maybe something happened, and this was kind of... I don't want to say thrown together, but, you know, the ending... I guess the ending kind of contradicts my thoughts there, but it just... In the immediate... When I saw the main event, I was like, that looks badass, but where did that come from? You know what I mean? But this AEW Dynamite came from the MVP Arena in Albany, New York. As I try to get this done with this cat here. I thought this was a decent episode. Like I said, there were some things. Is that a Knights jersey? Absolutely, baby. Absolutely. From their first year, though. It's one of the original. I thought this was a great episode, you know, a decent episode. There were some great things in the episode, but then there were some things that really left me like, what is happening here? But, you know, not a huge deal. Still enjoyed the episode here tonight. We started off with Darby Allin explaining, you know, his relationship with AR Fox with a really nice video package there. I thought that was a pretty cool video package for AR Fox. Definitely putting him over a little bit, you know, definitely enjoyed that. And we started off with the match, Orange Cassidy versus AR Fox for the AEW International Championship. And, you know, I don't know how much the crowd got to see before the show started here on Dynamite, but they were not awake yet. This crowd was absolutely dead for the beginning of this show. I wrote down great match so far, bad crowd. You know, it took them a good 5 minutes, maybe even 6 or 7 minutes to get into this match. But, you know, AR Fox and Orange Cassidy are both so talented. They kind of forced the crowd to get into this. They really did. Once these guys started going off, you know, on all of their big spots off the top rope, and Orange Cassidy with his hands in his pockets and doing his stuff, which it's great every single time. Absolutely love Orange Cassidy. The crowd definitely woke up towards the end of this match here. Orange Cassidy picks up the win with his roll-up seatbelt type maneuver. I'm not exactly sure if that was the seatbelt because they caught it from an odd angle. I couldn't tell if that was that same, you know, roll-up he uses all the time, but Orange Cassidy picks up the win here. They go and they have themselves a nice little handshake. Orange Cassidy puts his glasses onto AR Fox's head, and while Orange Cassidy has his back turned, AR Fox crumples the glasses up. Those had to be expensive, man. Those are Ray-Bans. Those are like $200-$300 glasses. Crumples them up and throws them at Orange Cassidy and absolutely annihilates him with an elbow. Just absolutely takes out Orange Cassidy. And as he's walking back up the ramp, Darby Allin comes down and he was like, I put my name on you. What are you doing? This is embarrassing, you know, and it was embarrassing, you know, Darby coming down and not just beating AR Fox's ass right there. You know, he should have challenged him to a match, you know. He should have been like, I got you this match. How dare you do this? Rather than Darby basically was like, get your ass into the back. And listen, if I had just basically turned heel and some fucking Darby Allin looking dude just was like, get your ass to the back, I'd have beat his ass. You know what I mean? It was just it was weird, but AR Fox listens. He's kind of got his hands up like, I'm sorry, Darby, I'm sorry. He didn't exactly say I'm sorry, but he was trying to explain himself, but I don't know what happened there. I do like that we're turning AR Fox heel here. And somebody in our Discord did call it. They did predict that AR Fox was going to be joining a certain faction. And it actually happened a little bit later in the show, which was really cool. And out of nowhere, Moxley arrives and attacks Orange Cassidy and hits him with a massive Death Rider. And I was kind of like, what? But, you know, it was explained that Orange Cassidy had hit Claudio Castagnoli with the Orange Punch. So, you know, you mess with the Blackpool Combat Club, there's a payback coming, you know what I mean? So this was great. Love showcasing AR Fox here, especially at the beginning of the show. The beginning of the show always has some good ratings, so love AR Fox getting some time there. Next up, we had a Blood and Guts recap here. Nice little video package on Blood and Guts. After that, we had Renee Paquette with Don Callis and Chris Jericho backstage. Yeah, Michael, that's literally exactly what I did. I was like, what? I did it for a long time too. I was just like in my living room, like, what just happened? That was hilarious. And so we had Renee with Callis and Jericho. Oh, geez, I think she just almost fell. And basically, Callis kind of convinces Jericho to team up with Takeshita. And Jericho agrees, but he didn't know who his opponents were yet. And after he gets him to agree to the match, Callis tells Jericho, you know, hey, it's against Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. And Jericho's like, it's Danny and Sammy? And he's like, yeah, I thought you'd be excited for this chance, you know? And Jericho looked very, very torn on facing his former proteges here. So I really enjoyed this. It's a really nice little Jericho's torn on where he's going to be going here. You know, we still don't know exactly where he's going yet. Callis pulls out this painting of him and Jericho that is just absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't find it on Twitter in time to bring it up for you guys, but if you guys go, I'm sure you'll find it somewhere. It's probably on Don Callis's, maybe Jericho's, but if you find it, it's hilarious. These paintings that Callis keeps getting. I don't know who the artist is. I don't know if Callis has a different artist every time, but man, these paintings are incredible. Yeah, I absolutely love the Don Callis and Jericho stuff at the moment. Next up, we had this really freaking cool video package of Hook, and Hook is sitting in a subway, and he's just sitting on the subway bench while the subway cars keep going by. And after a couple of cars go by, it just says Hook up on the back. Like, dude, that looked so good. Absolutely love that we're, pushing Hook as a major, as a big deal. Watching the Women's World Cup. Let's go Netherlands, baby. You'll never hear me root against any other team from the United States. But yeah, I'm rooting against these ones. This one. Next up, we had Claudio and Wheeler Yuta cutting a promo backstage, and Moxley steps in, cuts in front of their promo, and cuts an absolutely amazing promo on Orange Cassidy. Like, it was fan-freaking-tastic. Loved every second of this. I mean, Moxley on the mic when he's like in a backstage segment like that is just absolute money every single time. It is 10 out of 10. You can't go wrong with Moxley like that. Next up, we had Tony Schiavone in ring with Jack Perry, and he comes out dressed exactly like Hook with the orange shorts, the Hook shirt, but he has I beat right up above Hook. I really liked the way that Jack Perry came out here mocking Hook, looking just like him. The shoes, the socks, the shirt, everything. It was absolutely great. And he cuts some really good promos here. And, Taz was absolutely pissed. And he says that, Jack Perry says that he's the best to come within 100 feet of the FTW championship. And he says, including Taz and all of his friends from back in the day. And as he insults Taz, Jerry Lynn, old school EC dub talent, comes out, and we get big ECW chants out there in the AEW crowd. Jerry Lynn comes out and essentially challenges Jack. I was very iffy on this. I still am. I don't know whether I'm going to enjoy what happens here. I have a feeling that Jerry's not actually going to be the one, and they're going to somehow like have Hook come out for the match. But, we'll see. But I thought this was good. I really like seeing some old legends. I can't remember if Jerry Lynn has always been backstage or if this was a surprise for me, but it did feel like a little bit of a surprise. I was like, "Ooh, Jerry Lynn out here. Okay, that's cool. That's cool." I was pleasantly surprised here. Let's go over to the chat real quick. Coach Nick says the boys miss you on COD. Yeah, I've heard they have absolutely ruined the game right now, so I'm not sure I'll be back on the COD anytime soon, man. But I'm sure there's some games coming up soon we'll be able to play. We'll see what's up. Michael Duke says Hook will get Jack Perry no matter what. Absolutely. Hook is getting his hands on Jack Perry for sure. And some good points were made in the Discord about Jack Perry possibly destroying the FTW championship, right? I don't know if I want to see that happen, but that's because, me and Rome, we're out here in Philly. That would be devastating, especially I know to Rome. He's like born and raised here. I think it would be great in the storyline for Hook to destroy that championship. Basically that's like Taz's family legacy at the moment. It was basically Taz and Hook that had this thing for a long time. Even Ricky Starks, who's in a great spot right now, held it for a while. What do you guys think about Jack Perry destroying the belt? Because he said something tonight along the lines of, when I said I was going to win my first singles title, I damn sure didn't mean this one. Oh, Michael Duke says gold. Team USA ties it at 1. All right, Team USA ties it up. Good job. You don't understand, Michael. I got the US flag tattooed down my arm. I'm a huge fan. Just, these ones are a little insufferable. That'll be the word I use. So this was great. I loved all of this with Jack Perry. This was fantastic. Tony Schiavone really added to this pretty good. Loved him being in the ring there. Love seeing Jerry Lynn. This was great. Next up, we had Renee Paquette in ring promo. In the back with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And Britt Baker cut a very nice promo on Taya Valkyrie here, saying, you challenged me, so, we're going to have this match tonight. So it was decent. It wasn't anything spectacular. It was just Britt's always good when she gets a backstage segment, just like Mox. So it was fine. And next up, we got Pac, the man that Gravity forgot, versus Gravity himself. And man, all the jokes we were making throughout the week, everybody was making the jokes with Gravity, and Pac's the man that Gravity forgot. Gravity literally walked up to Pac after the match started, and he looked at him and was like, who are you? And Pac was like, who am I? You don't remember me? I started laughing so freaking hard. I knew it was coming because we were all asking for it. We were like, please acknowledge the whole joke. I was laughing so hard, even though I guess I shouldn't say I knew it was coming. I wanted it to come, but I didn't think it was going to. And when it did, it was just so good. Absolutely loved that they did this little spot here. And then they proceeded to have an awesome match. I have never seen Gravity before. This was my first time seeing him. He does his entrance in kind of like slow motion, like he's an astronaut on the moon. I wasn't sure if I enjoyed it or not, but the more I got into it, the more I liked it. I do like how he was kind of like, he was like manipulating Gravity. You know what I mean? So it was like a video game where they turn on the low grav and then it comes back. I kind of enjoyed it towards the end of the match, the way he was like controlling Gravity. It was pretty cool. We had a massive avalanche brainbuster by Pac onto Gravity. Pac locks in the brutalizer. Gravity taps out. Great match. Loved it. I just can't express enough how much I loved the fact that they acknowledged Pac was the man that Gravity forgot, and Gravity was like, "Who are you?" Gravity. It was great. I was laughing so hard. All right, next up, we had Renee Paquette with Adam Cole and MJF. And Adam Cole begins to say something, and MJF just interrupts him and says, let me take over from here. And MJF cuts listen, every time MJF cuts a promo, it's incredible. But my God, MJF just cut this promo that you couldn't tell if it was babyface or heel. It really wasn't. It was one of those in-betweener, just speaking from the heart. It like felt real. This promo kicked ass on FTR. He basically was talking about Cash having the mullet in 2023. Dax being like Yosemite Sam, being like my wife and my kid. It was hilarious and badass at the same time. Max is one of the best in the business right now. I know we really don't want to turn him face. Like a lot of people are like, I don't want Max to be a face. But even if you're one of the people in the crowd, you want to cheer for this guy. This dude's charisma, whatever you want to call it, is just through the freaking roof. MJF is absolutely phenomenal, top to bottom, anytime we have this man on television. Adam Cole is great as well, obviously, making all of his facial expressions while MJF's talking. Adam Cole comes in and says, listen, Max, I'm really sorry about holding the title. I was just giving it to you. You got nothing to worry about. I don't care about the championship. And MJF kind of surprised me here, and he's like, listen, win, lose, or draw, doesn't matter what happens between us against FTR. He's like, you get next shot at this championship, you know, and all of a sudden, Roderick Strong shows up out of nowhere, pushes Max. We got a big scuffle going on. And MJF takes off. Adam Cole basically tells Roddy, you need to figure this out, man. And says, if you want to be my friend, you got to understand that I'm friends with MJF now. And Roderick Strong just seems to be the only one that sees MJF as an absolute snake, you know, just I'm loving this. I'm loving every single second of everything MJF and Adam Cole. It is absolute gold on the television. I'm really, really hoping that they're taking the advice of just about everybody. And we need to call an audible. If the idea is not for these guys to win the championship, we need to call the audible here. You know, we've been saying it for a week now. These guys need to win the championship and go on a run. Possibly past All In. Go to All Out, maybe. Like, my idea was have them defeat FTR here on Collision. Your new champions, Adam Cole, MJF, tag team champions. FTR want their rematch so bad. We get it at Wembley. We get Adam Cole and MJF versus FTR at Wembley, the big, big stage. Adam Cole or MJF turn on each other somehow in that match. And then we get them for the championship at All Out. That's just one road. Obviously not the best road. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't have to be what they do. Just throw in the first road that my brain goes down. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on where they take this here, or if you even agree that they should win the championships. You know, I think FTR is in a spot right now where they actually do need to go away for a little bit on like a little small mini vacation, just to kind of build up the prestige of their appearance again. You know, if they're there all the time, we kind of lose that big it factor for FTR. You know, that big pop that they usually get. And then when it's time for the whole CM Punk storylines to start popping off, that's when I think we bring FTR back in for some nice something going on there. So Michael says, do you think Adam Cole is brushing off on Roderick Strong? So like, are you saying like he's turning Roderick Strong a little bit heel like MJF? No. What's happening here is that there's a divide being put between Adam Cole and his friend Roderick. So Cole is so blind to what MJF is doing that it's hurting his friendship with Roderick Strong now, you know? So got to make these a little bit more visible there. We got the new Target exclusive Adam Cole baby next to MJF. Oh God, there goes Cody. I'm sure he's splattered on the ground again. And got the autographed Orange Cassidy right there. We got the autographed Kenny Omega next to the 1 of 1,000 Riho. Yeah. Yeah, but I love everything that's going on with Adam Cole and MJF. We got to keep this going. I would love to see them win these championships and where they go from there. It'd be fantastic. All right, next up we had Renee Paquette with FTR backstage. And this was obviously filmed on, I believe, last Wednesday after Dynamite. The things that Dax was saying were referring to like tonight our match and, you know, stuff like that. These guys finally cut some good promos after a couple of weeks here of a little bit of a downer on their promos. And Dax is saying, you know, MJF, if you said anything about my wife and daughter in your promo, I'm going to rip your eyeballs out. And MJF absolutely did say something about his wife and daughter, so we may get some MJF eyeballs on the mat coming up on Collision. So we'll see. We shall see. But next up was a fantastic match here between Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana ringside against Darby Allin with Nick Wayne ringside, and this was freaking awesome. Swerve Strickland is absolutely fantastic. I love every time I get to see this dude in the ring. And this is just one of those guys that every time you see this dude, you just wonder to yourself, like, how did the WWE let this guy go and not realize that he was the absolute backbone, or whatever you want to call it, to that Hit Row faction? Like, that faction does not work at all without him. They've become complete jokes without him. I mean, Flop Dollar, every time he comes out, he gets shit on by Adam Cole. Michael Cole. Every time this dude comes out, he gets absolutely shit on by Michael Cole. And if you're getting shit on by Michael Cole, like, what does that say, man? Like, what does that say that the company thinks about you? Because you know that they think of him as like one of their all-time stooges, you know? I mean, of course they love him as one of their, you know, all-time announcers, but the dude is hated most of the time. And for Michael Cole to have the green light to just absolutely shit on you and meme on you every time you're in the ring, they must really dislike you for some reason, you know? So love seeing Swerve in AEW. It's just a constant reminder of, like, what the hell were they thinking of letting this guy go? This was a great wrestling match. Darby Allin and Swerve had a freaking awesome pro wrestling match here. There was a spot where Darby goes to do his tope suicida, and he lands, I mean, directly on his fucking head. Like, as much as you could just land on your head and just roll out of it like nothing happened, Darby just splat. I mean, he laid there like he was dead. The ref checked him out and he was like, "Yep, good." And I was just like, how are you alive, dude? Like, how are you alive? So Darby hits another tope suicida, one of his missile topes, and Swerve hits this jumping knee that, like, somebody needs to make a meme of Swerve doing this jumping knee and hitting Darby, and Darby, like, flying off into outer space, and him just, like, flying past Saturn, flying past Jupiter, flying past, I know Jupiter is in front of Saturn, I know, flying past Neptune. This looked so absolutely devastating. I thought it was unreal of a spot. Darby's absolutely dead. Swerve hits a huge stomp from the top rope. He hits the Swerve stomp, only gets the 2.9 count. I was very surprised that wasn't the finish here. Swerve picks Darby up on the top rope and hits an avalanche Death Valley driver onto the apron on the outside. This was another spot that was on the banned moves list. I thought it killed Darby. I was expecting paramedics to come out. I was expecting a stretcher. I was expecting Darby to get strapped onto this stretcher and wheeled out of the arena, and Swerve's arm be raised via KO. This looked so insanely brutal. My jaw was like in my lap for a good 30 seconds after this spot. So they're going for a count out here. Darby's getting counted out. Swerve and Nana distract the ref, and AR Fox shows up and absolutely bounces Darby's head off of the ring post. Darby gets back in the ring, but he is absolutely done at this point. Swerve hits the JML driver. 1, 2, 3. AR Fox has now joined the embassy. Nick Wayne gets in the ring to try to stop the beatdown on Darby after the match. Nick Wayne takes his skateboard to the face for his troubles, which it really did look like Nick Wayne took that skateboard to the face, like straight up. AR Fox absolutely annihilated Nick Wayne with that skateboard. Great match, great heel turn. I absolutely loved every bit of this, so I'm digging Swerve's storylines here. Swerve's one of my favorite in AEW, so let's continue utilizing him in some nice storylines like this. I love it. It takes some drink here. It's hard doing this solo, man. Need that co-host here. We miss you, Rome. See how nice I am to him, and he's always just every opportunity, you know? Next up, we had Renee Paquette with the remains of the Jericho Appreciation Society in a hallway backstage. They were all waiting outside of Chris Jericho's locker room, wanting to speak to him. We had Ty Mello, we had Anna JAS, and we had former 2.0 Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. Everybody's waiting to speak to Jericho, and he shows up, and Jericho invites them all into his locker room. And, you know, they basically tell him, like, listen, man, you know, you're not being honest with us. You're not being truthful with us. So we can't give you 100%. And Anna Jay really kind of stuck it to him there a little bit with her little speech. And Jericho was definitely disappointed as they all walked out. He was definitely torn, and, you know, you could see it's getting to him a little bit. And the way that Matt Menard was like, get your shit together, basically, to Jericho was fantastic. I really enjoyed the very last part of this with Matt Menard and Jericho's, you know, little personal interaction there. It was nice. Next up, we had Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Taya Valkyrie. This was a good match, but it was marred with a little bit of sloppy spots here. And what was odd is normally when there's some sloppy spots in a match, normally I can pinpoint to you like whose fault it was. You know, normally you could be like, oh, this person wasn't quite on, or oh, this person kind of messed up. I couldn't really tell whose fault it was here for the beginning of this match, looking a little sloppy, just a little bit. It wasn't horrible or anything like that, but there's a couple of times where, like, the main one was Taya doing her finisher, and it really didn't look like Britt was supposed to take the finisher here, but Britt just flat out took the Jaded, or, you know, the road to Valhalla. And when Taya did sit down for it, she was late to the sit down, so I'm not sure what happened there. If it was Britt that wasn't supposed to take the actual move, or if Taya wasn't ready for Britt to take the move, I don't know. But it looked a little sloppy. But then they cleaned this up, and Britt hit this Pittsburgh Sunrise, or, you know, the Panama Sunrise that looked absolutely freaking awesome. Only gets a 2.9 count. But Britt immediately locks in the lockjaw. She gets Taya Valkyrie to tap out. Now, until right here, I was like, yeah, this was freaking cool. I liked the match. There was only a couple of sloppy spots here, which, you know, is fine. I'm not a huge nitpicker in women's matches for sloppy spots. It is what it is. But what was the point of this? The whole, this almost, I would have bet you $100 that the point of this was Taya Valkyrie was going to cheat and join the Outcasts somehow, some way in this match. They were going to interfere. They were going to do something, and they were going to cost Brit the match, causing the Outcasts and Brit to have something going on again. But we just have Brit defeating Taya Valkyrie here. Like, what was the point? We had a story here. Like, so there was a story. Like, I was like, yeah, there's a whole storyline in this match. She's defeated Sky Blue now. She wants Brit. It felt like she was an outcast. She is technically, like, not in the group outcast, but she's an outcast from the E. And I'm just very confused at where this went. Did the other girls not make it to the show? I was just confused. Anybody, if you guys want to throw something in the chat, try to, tell me what you guys thought about that here. I was slightly confused. I really was. So next up, we had Nyla Rose challenging Hikaru Shida. This was a really nice promo here from Nyla Rose, who I haven't seen on television in a while. Nice to see her. Hikaru Shida makes a nice little promo video package back, accepting the challenge, so I liked that as well. And then we had a small, like, one-sentence promo from all the teams that are going to be in a big tag team battle royale. There was Team TNA, Big Bill with Brian Cage and Prince Nana. We had Brother Zay and Ethan Page and Matt and Jeff Hardy. This looked cool. I'm a little battle royaled out at the moment with AEW. I could go a couple of months without having a battle royale. Tony must really, really enjoy them. But I definitely would have to say to Tony, the fans are a little tired of these battle royale matches. You're having quite a bit of them. There was even 2 on, like, the same episode a while ago. So calm down. No big deal though. Next up, we had Buddy Matthews cutting a really nice promo on Andrade about the mask. But I have to say, this was the first time that I had heard Buddy Matthews' voice without his face. And it really confused my brain. I had to tell myself, like, this is Buddy Matthews, that's the Australian accent. But my brain was like, that's not what he sounds like. And then my other side, I don't know, the other side of my brain, I was like, how do you know what he sounds like? You've never heard him speak before. And I was like, huh. But I don't know. Buddy Matthews cuts a great promo here. There's going to be a ladder match against Andrade. He tells Andrade if Buddy wins, he's going to burn the mask in front of Andrade. He's going to have to watch it burn. So that was a great promo. Loved it. Love Buddy. And next up, it was time for the main event. The Best Friends, Trent Beretta and Chucky T versus the Blackpool Combat Club. We had Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli versus the Lucha Brothers. And, this is where I was slightly confused at this being the main event. It felt thrown together. I didn't see this promoted anywhere, but don't get me wrong, I don't go all over Twitter looking at all the matches. That's why I love having the co-host here. That is his job, which, oh, damn, I got to think about that tonight. I got to actually find what matches are coming. Oh, God. So it felt a little bit thrown together. I wasn't sure where this match came from. It was kind of just out of the blue. The Lucha Brothers, Penta and Fenix, I believe, have both stepped down from their positions at AAA. I believe they both either lost or relinquished their championships over there. I don't know if Warner, I think they know who draw ratings. And there's probably certain guys that they're like, listen, we want these guys full time. And if there's any tag team that I would want Warner to go to Tony and say, listen, we need these guys full time AEW. We don't want the risk of them getting hurt elsewhere all the time. They can go do their thing in Japan and AAA. We want them to be mainly AEW talent. It would be the Lucha Brothers. Those are my guys. I love that they go to AAA all the time and stuff like that, but it's graduation day. You know what I mean? And if we're about to sign that $1 billion contract with Warner, we should be paying these guys to the point where they don't need to, anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I don't want them to go to New Japan. I don't want them to go to Mexico. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying it's time for our top 10 talents, our top 5 talents, in the singles division, in the tag team division. It's time to make them mainstays in AEW and make it a privilege to see them outside of AEW rather than a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like an everyday thing. I know there's a word for it, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not saying I don't want them to do it, but it needs to be a lot more rare that you see them in other places outside of AEW. But absolutely love the Lucha Brothers here. This freaking match was incredible. The chemistry between all three of these teams was fan-freaking-tastic. I couldn't tell you what the rules were in this match. I don't think the ref knew. I don't think the wrestlers knew, but I didn't give an absolute shit. This was absolutely awesome. This was a really, really fun time of a main event. I just loved everything about this as a main event. We love the best friends here. Rome is a massive Big Friends fan. Huge Orange Cassidy fans here. Obviously, he was not in this match, but we had the best friends in the match. Orange Cassidy does get involved towards the end of the match here. Orange Cassidy's music hits and causes a distraction on Moxley. He comes down the ramp and absolutely obliterates Wheeler Yuta with an orange punch. Moxley comes out and starts fighting with Orange Cassidy on the ramp as well. Which allows Penta and Phoenix to take advantage of the distraction, and they hit an absolute fucking awesome small package onto Trent Beretta and picks up the 1-2-3. Penta hits that pin, picks up the 1-2-3, and Orange Cassidy and Moxley were still fighting after the bell. Basically, everybody continued fighting after the bell, which is another reason that I thought that this felt thrown together, because it looked like the Blackpool Combat Club were leaving through the audience. Like, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta went to jump over the rail, but all of a sudden, the Lucha Brothers and the Best Friends continued fighting, right? And it looked like Wheeler Yuta was like, oh shit, we're supposed to brawl. So he kind of tried to jump back over, which led Phoenix to come over and hit him. And it didn't feel natural. Do you know what I mean, guys? Like, I wish Rome was here because he's always got the explanations. He's always got the stuff to right my ship here. Something about everybody continuing to fight, like even the Lucha Brothers brawling with the Best Friends, it didn't feel like it made sense in my head, I get it, the Lucha Brothers pinned the Best Friends, but they have no beef. It was a 3-way tag match. Somebody had to win. The Lucha Brothers are 99 out of 100 times the better team. You would have to tell me that the Best Friends have gone heel to attack the Lucha Brothers again after the match. You know what? I was just confused here at the very end. I loved the entire match. Absolutely loved everything until after the bell rang. It just didn't feel like it was necessary for this match here. What should have happened, in my humble opinion, is just Orange Cassidy and Moxley brawling. Everybody else should have stepped aside. Maybe the Blackpool Combat Club should have kept on brawling with the Best Friends, because Orange Cassidy and Mox should have been going at it. The Lucha Brothers should have wandered off up the ramp, arms held high. You know, go ahead. Let you guys fight it out. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. This didn't ruin anything for me. There was just a couple of things tonight that were a little confusing on why. The entire purpose of Taya Valkyrie challenging Brit felt like a storyline heading towards the Outcasts, and Brit just beats Taya Valkyrie. No Outcasts, no Sky Blue, no Ruby Soho, no Willow. Just Brit wins. Which, don't get me wrong, love Brit. Love me some Brit Baker. DMD. But last week, all we got was a squash match, which Rome had a huge problem with after he explained his problem. I didn't exactly enjoy that squash match either. So we got Brit for a squash match last week. Felt like we were getting some sort of a storyline with her and Taya to kind of steer everything back together with the Outcasts and Brit. Because we got to have Brit and Jamie Hayter, like, something about that really, really got to me tonight. The more I think about it, the more that made no sense to just have Brit win the match for no reason other than she wins the match. And then the ending here, there's no reason for the Lucha Brothers to continue brawling with the Best Friends. The Best Friends are not heels, and neither are the Lucha Brothers. Those two guys, those two teams were brawling while the Blackpool Combat Club was trying to leave. You know what I mean? Not a big deal, just a small nitpick. I gotta pick some nits. You know what I'm saying? Can't have Ed thinking I'm, massive AEW stan. It is what it is, but this was a decent episode of Dynamite tonight. I had lots of fun watching it. At no time was I yawning, feeling like I was going to fall asleep. Thought it was a good episode. Can't wait to see Collision this week. I might be doing something interesting on Friday. We'll see how I feel, and we'll see how the beginnings of the recording process goes. But I'm planning on doing a super fast Rampage review in a shorts form. I'm going to kind of do just a quick YouTube short of like, here's what went down on Rampage. You know what I mean? So we'll see if I can pull that off. If it doesn't come out good, I'm not going to run it, but we'll see how it goes. Now let's see if I can find what is going down on Rampage this week here. So we do have the tag team battle royale with Daddy Magic and Matt Menard, former 2.0. Have Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. We got Big Bill and Brian Cage. It looks like we have Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal. We got the Butcher and the Blade. We got Brother Zay and Ethan Page. We will have the Spanish Announce Project, it looks like. And Team TNA going to be Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh. That's going to be an interesting one there. Let's see what else do they have lined up for Rampage here. We will see Scorpio Skye versus Kip Sabian in a match. That's going to be a really good match for Rampage. So it almost feels like Rampage is going to be our new spot for some of these younger guys that need to get a little bit of spotlight. So I like that. Scorpio Skye and Kip Sabian on Rampage. That's a great spot for those two. Like it. Looks like we will have the Kingdom in action. Anytime I get to see Maria Kanellis is always a great time. And we will get Nyla Rose versus Hikaru Shida on Rampage. That is awesome. Love me some Nyla Rose. Love me some Hikaru Shida. That's going to be fan-freaking-tastic. And let's see if we have anything announced for Collision. Here's another one I got to go search for here real quick. So let's see anything announced for Collision at the moment. Don't see anything right on my timeline here. But I'm sure we'll announce something in the disc. Oh, here we go. Obviously, we have the AEW World Tag Team Championship. MJF and Adam Cole versus FTR. That should be absolutely freaking awesome. Let's see here. Let's go to the display so you guys can see this as well. That's not the display. Never mind. We'll go back to my screen. So we'll have FTR versus Adam Cole and MJF for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. And I gotta say, I really, really hope we see MJF and Adam Cole win these championships. Let us know in the chat what you guys think, who you guys hope win, and I want to know what you guys think about the storylines going into All In. Let us know. Next up, we will have Buddy Matthews versus Andrade El Idolo in a ladder match for Andrade El Idolo's mask. Oh, a ladder match. Buddy Matthews and Andrade. Thank you, Tony. We never say it enough. Thank you, Tony Khan, for these matches that you provide us. On a weekly basis, we get absolute... I'm saying it. I'm saying it. We get absolute bangers on a week-to-week basis. I love it. We will also be having on Collision El Hijo del Vikingo, Action Andretti, and Darius Martin versus Bullet Club Gold, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. Juice gonna make it 7 weeks in a row of being on AEW Collision. Juice is the absolute workhorse of Collision. You know, Juice Robinson, man. The guy is fantastic. Correct me if I'm wrong, but at a time before he was in AEW, this guy was considering hanging up the boots. Thank Tony Khan that this guy did not hang him up, and he is doing the best work of his career here in AEW. With the Bullet Club Gold, with Jay White, the Guns. Dude, I absolutely love the Guns being part of Bullet Club Gold. It just makes perfect sense. Love it. Absolutely love it. And I love that they're not called the Gun Club anymore. The Guns sounds way better than the Gun Club. I'm loving it. So that's a great Collision coming up as well, and I'm sure we have some more stuff. Michael Duke coming in. Game ends in a 1-1 draw. Yeah, it's the pre rounds. I forget what they're called. It's the point rounds, Michael. So, it's fine for a 1-1 draw. They'll each get a point. It is what it is. Andrade versus Buddy, and Roosh just re-signed with AEW. Yes, sir. Roosh just making his decision to go with AEW. He could have gone just about anywhere in the world that he wanted to go, and Roosh it seemed like it was no question. Jose on Twitter making it a point to say, Tony Khan cares about family, and the way Tony Khan takes care of Roosh and his family, it was a no-brainer. Roosh chose AEW. And, it turns out basically the way that it's been explained is that Roosh was essentially offered an NXT contract, and AEW offered him a main event contract. And there was not even any consideration of an NXT contract for Roosh. So there we go, group stage. I forgot what it was called. Thanks, Mike. I don't even think Roosh considered anything less than a main roster payday. You know what I mean? The guy proved himself big time. He was great on promos. His matches are incredible. There were some matches I thought he was going into business for himself. They looked so good. So yeah, Roosh, man, congratulations to him. And CM Punk spoiling that Roosh is the newest addition to Collision. Roosh is a collider. So we should be seeing Roosh on Collision sometime soon. And you know what? Hear me out. Hear me out. Roosh and Thunder Rosa somehow, some way packaged together. Thunder Rosa still hasn't come back. She's been on the commercial every week. They feature her face on the commercial, on the opener. We haven't seen her yet. She's still doing the announcing. I would love to see her, just to get herself back on the mic, put her in a little bit of a on the microphone role for Roosh. You know, like my El Toro Blanco is going to run through this division, and just to get the nerves back. She hasn't been on TV in a long time, you know, so I don't know. Just something running through my head. I want to see her back on TV, and it doesn't have to be wrestling right now. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But that is the end of our review here for AEW Dynamite. Watch for my Rampage possibly to drop on Friday night. I might be doing that short. We'll see. But until then, we shall see you guys more than likely on Sunday. We're going to be doing the Collision review on Sunday. Me and Rome will be here live on a Sunday sometime, probably more towards the evening, 8 or 9 p.m. Hopefully you guys can join us on that nice Sunday evening, wherever you may be. But until then, I just want to say thank you guys so freaking much for helping us get to the point of becoming YouTube partners. It's been a long road. Didn't think it was going to happen, to be honest. When we first applied for the program, YouTube was kind of like, I don't know, dude, you got to clean some stuff up there. And it turns out AEW doesn't like when you film wrestling matches from the inside of the arena and post them on YouTube. I thought they enjoyed when people did that because I've seen thousands of others do it, but there was literally a manual strike. It wasn't a strike on the channel. It was like a manual complaint of like, this is our property. So YouTube was like, delete some shit and we'll consider it. So I deleted some shit and I reapplied and they approved it instantaneously, essentially. I was blown away. Tears literally came to the eyes. I notified Rome and I think the sentiment was the same on his end there. But thank you guys so much for this long. It's been over a year with some of you guys here. Nick, I think of our current viewers who are here night in and night out, Coach Nick, you have been here the longest, my brother. Thank you so very, very much. You know what? Let's head on over to the film room for a moment, just, in honor. Coach Nick, man, just thank you. Thank you very much for how long you've been here. Coog, you as well, sir. Day Trading Doge, you also. Michael, we love having you here, man. You're freaking awesome. You're one of my favorite new viewers that we got. Thank you very much. And it's just without you guys, we would not be here where we are. I should probably not have anything up there, but it is what it is. We'll go back to my screen here. Can't say it enough. Thank you guys very much for making this dream come true of finally joining that partner program. You guys can join the backstage crew at the Broken Tables podcast now. Down in the bottom left, there is now a join button. We are not asking anybody to do anything like that, but it is available for anyone that wants to help support the podcast in any way they can. Right now, it's just the regular YouTube badges that you would get in the chat. I will be creating some really cool badges. have not figured out what they are yet, but I do believe it's going to be some sort of CM Punk fists, something like that. We'll see. We'll see. We'll take some suggestions in the Discord. If you have not joined our Discord, please do throw us some suggestions on what you think the badges should be, what you think some of the emotes should be. We're going to get our own emotes and everything. It's just such an awesome time. Love it. Absolutely love it. I remember when this happened on Twitch, this was a lot longer and harder of a road than Twitch. So thank you guys again from the bottom of our heart. Thank you guys. We shall see you guys on Friday night and then more than likely on Sunday night. But until then, top guys out.